Nick, I know you're excited for this podcast segment as we will break down the Bruins versus Panthers game one recap yesterday, and then make our predictions on the next two series that'll be coming up out in the Western Conference with the Vancouver Canucks versus Edmonton Oilers and the Colorado Avalanche versus my pick to win the whole thing, the Dallas Stars. Which one do you want to start with first? Do you want to get into the predictions or save
the best for
Bruins
last.
for later?
Let's save the best for last and talk about the
Okay.
Bruins.
Best for last. Okay, I like that. So I guess the first series, if you want to do, is the Edmonton Oilers, arguably have the best player in the series, versus Vancouver Canucks, who, had a scrappy series with the Nashville Predators. Were able to win that series in 6 games. I would say this is a battle of top-heavy Oilers versus a more deep team in the Canucks that has been proven all season. Do you want to go first in your prediction who you think wins the series?
I say Oilers in 7. I'm such a big McDavid guy. I mean, if there's I'm obviously for as long as the Bruins are in the playoffs, I want them to win more than anything. But if there's one team I want to see win, it's the Oilers, just because I want to see McDavid get a cup so he can finally cement himself as the GOAT. Because it's tough to call him the GOAT over Wayne Gretzky, but I think he's so talented. I want to see him win, man. He's kind of been screwed his whole career he's had Leon Draisaitl, but that's it. Like you just said, it's so top heavy. Like he's barely had any goaltending up until now. He finally has a competent goalie who can win them games. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Oilers in 7.
Yeah, the goaltending is a huge thing for the Oilers. I think this is a 7-game series as well, but I'm going to go with the home team and the Canucks. Just their depth, man. The Predators were a really hot team coming into this playoffs, led by Andrew Burnett. They're just a feisty squad, and it was a scrappy series. It's going to be tough, I think, because Vancouver's goalie got injured last series, if I'm not mistaken. The starter, they were relying on their third string, and they were still able to find a way to just win games. And you just got players all around the ice like Patterson, Hughes, Brock Besser. I like the Canucks, and I think throughout the regular season they're the better team. And I'm going to go with my gut here and trust the home team. But either way, Connor McDavid, I love him. Watching Draisaitl play, I wouldn't be mad if they won the series at all. I think it's going to be a close series because they're two really good teams that obviously know each other pretty well. So it'll be an exciting series to watch nonetheless.
Yep. It's going to be high goal scoring, I think. I think there's going to be
especially with the injury to Vancouver. Vancouver's going to need to step it up on offense if they want to win the series. But, I remember last year a lot of people were high on the Oilers going in, and they flamed down in the second round just because I think depth eventually catches up to them. And I think it's going to be a scrappy series back and forth. I think, I'm not going to be surprised if the Oilers win a game like 7-3 due to Vancouver's goaltending issue.
Right.
It's going to be, you got to be resilient. Just find a way, Vancouver. Might not be the prettiest, but they found a way in the Nashville series. They won game 6, 1-0 in a late goal. You just got to be scrappy. Vancouver can play both ways. So I think it'll be an exciting series to watch nonetheless, though.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, so we both got a 7-game series, got a different winner, but no big deal. And then the last series, the Dallas Stars versus the Colorado Avalanche. Colorado, like we talked about in the last podcast, is riding huge momentum going into this, won 4 in a row after losing game 1 to Winnipeg. The Dallas Stars, it took them the full 7 games, but they defeated the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. And the Vegas Knights were no 8th seed. They were really, they kind of do that long-term IR with Mark Stone. They kind of, were just waiting for the postseason, and they punched Dallas in the mouth. But Dallas was able to take that after losing both home games and bounce back and win the series. So I think it'll be a great series, but I'm going to go with the Stars just because of the depth, like I've talked about before. Having 88 goal scorers of 20 they just got playmakers all up and down every line. Rope Hintz, Jason Robertson, Jake Onger, who we've talked about in that, very solid. They just got the different players, and I think they're just more a complete team. Well, the Avalanche have that one superstar line, really, Nathan McKinnon. You got Cale Makar. You got a lot of top-heavy names, but I think will be the difference in the series is like the third and fourth lines. I think Dallas will just be able to kill them there. And I got the Stars winning in 6.
Stars in 6? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Avalanche in 6. I'm also going 6, but I think the Avalanche are a team where it doesn't matter where they play, whether it's home or I think they just show up and play. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it yesterday when we talked about it. I think the Avalanche are just such an experienced team. You know, they've been there before. They've been to the Stanley Cup final. They've won it. They know what it takes. And I just think Dallas doesn't have that yet. I think they're a team that'll get there. But yeah, I'm taking the Habs. I think they got just
one question mark.
Too much firepower. As good as Jake Onger is,
Stars could say that too, though. You go up and down the lines, man.
I think their defense is. I think Colorado's defense is going to be much better than what the Stars
could be. But when it comes to it, Jake Onger versus Gorgiev of the Avalanche, I'm riding the Stars goalie. But we'll see. You know, that's why you have this series to decide. Ultimately, this is just predictions. But I'm excited. I think this will also be a great series. Once you get out of the first round, there are no more Capitals or joke teams like the Islanders.
Like everybody,
these are the real teams that deserve to be here. Right. And so I don't think like any game series will be a sweep or 5 games. But it will be exciting nonetheless. But with that being said, we can either end the video now or talk about the Bruins.
No. We got to get in. There was still a game played yesterday. You got to talk.
There was, and I'll kind of give my perspective a little bit before, like I know you talk, because I know you watched this game well more than I did because the Knicks Pacers was on as well. It seemed like both teams were getting great chances early on, and neither one was capitalizing. From what I had, both teams had chances out front, whether it was just a miss or just a good goaltending. It was looking like I didn't really know who was going to win. My one concern going into the series was Florida's speed being too much for Boston. But Boston, responded well. Obviously, Swayman balled out yesterday. I thought when Tkachuk scored, we know what Matthew Tkachuk does in the playoffs. I thought, maybe you never know. But Boston's resilience, man, just goal after goal after goal to turn this into a blowout statement win in game 1. If I'm a Bruins fan, after winning all 4 games in the regular season and sustaining that in the playoffs, you stole home ice. I think it's big.
It is big, yeah. I mean, I touched on it yesterday. I am not going to speculate like I did last year where I was talking crazy about, who are we going to play in the finals? What team can beat us in the finals? And we didn't even make it through the first round. But the Bruins have started their past 3 series with a game just like this. They started out, they beat Toronto. I think it might have been 5-1. And then last year they beat Florida pretty handily. I think it was 3-1 last year in the first round. Obviously, we saw that series. But getting off to good starts is always big. I'm never going to complain about getting off to a good start. But my mindset, and I'm hoping it's been the team's mindset as well, is taking one game at a time. Don't look 3-4 games ahead. Take it one game at a time. Wow. Jeremy Swayman played out of his mind again. Ride the hot hand. What I have liked that they've done, they did it yesterday and they did it in Game 7, is they responded right away. Tkachuk scored like halfway through the second period. Bruins answered a minute later. So
there could have been a lot more goals scored in the first half of this game too. It was still tight early. But
I mean, Swayman had, I'm pretty sure it was maybe not even 5 minutes in the game, there was a rebound chance that Swayman made a beautiful leg save on.
Yeah, and Boston rode that momentum in from Game 7. Pastrnak was even making some good defensive plays. The limited time I watched.
They were putting bodies on too, which I love to see. I love seeing guys hit because those take a toll on the other team. When you start beating guys up, it takes a toll on them.
So, Boston steals game 1, and I don't want to call game 2 a must-win for Florida, but it pretty much is. If you go down 0-2 going into Boston, playoff hockey in Boston, you're almost guaranteed to lose one there. But 3-1 leads, maybe the Panthers just like coming back from that.
Yeah.
But gotta give Boston their credit. I'm excited to see how Florida bounces back. I don't think Florida played a 5-1 loss kind of game.
No,
but
they were in it a lot of the time.
Yeah, then they were peppering shots. But Boston held their own. Swayman did his thing, and the offense for Boston, just everyone stepping up, and that's what I mean by depth lines 1 through 4.
Yep.
Everyone was contributing to this effort, and to win this game, I think Florida, Boston, it's a good rivalry. We're kind of see develop, and this is for a trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I'm excited to see. Do you know when Game 2 is?
It's tomorrow.
All right. So I'll be tomorrow. And then I know we'll probably recap the other series that happen as well. They're starting. So unless there's anything you want to add to your Bruins fandom here.
Don't get comfortable. One game at a time. If anybody from the Bruins is listening, I'm sure you're not. But if you are, don't get comfortable. Bruins fans, don't get comfortable. Even yesterday when they got up 3-1 going into the third period, I was still, on the edge of my seat because of how quick Florida can strike. Like you said, their speed is just unbelievable. And the Bruins matched it yesterday. They matched it. They put bodies on. Swayman played great. So you just got to keep doing what you're doing. You got to keep rolling. You can't get comfortable because we all know if there's one team that can come back on you no matter what, it's these guys.
Yeah, and it was huge taking advantage of that Kachuk Verhage line on defense because they were still a minus in this game. You got to be able to – you want to make the superstars on Florida work, and that's what Boston did, and that's ultimately, I think, what won them this game. But I'm excited how Game 2 goes. Does Swayman can Swayman sustain this momentum? Because anytime someone can get hot and cold. And how Bobrovsky, look.
I think he bounces back. Next game, I can't see it being 5-1. No matter who.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think it'll be that. But who knows? Boston might win a close one. Florida might win. But we're here to watch it, recap it. Should be an exciting time because this is arguably the best time in the sports. You got for kind of
playoffs. I love it.
NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, MLB season. Finally, weather's getting warm. NFL, you can recklessly speculate your team's going to win the Super Bowl. But yeah, with that being said, I think that'll wrap up our NHL recap for this video. And we look forward to recapping the games that happen as well, I believe, tonight and tomorrow. So with that being said, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.